What's up, YouTubians? It's Big Unks, B-I-G-U-N-C-S coming at you. I got a tag video from Oblivion. He called it his Mount Rushmore Tag. Thought I'd answer back with a few of my top four lists. I think I'm going to do my four favorite. I'm going to say my four favorite foods that I cook. And number one would have to be my macaroni and cheese, because I took both my mother's recipe and my grandmother's recipe and crammed them together and made one awesome macaroni and cheese. Everybody that's ever tasted my macaroni and cheese says I make a really good macaroni and cheese. Number two would have to be I really should have thought about this ahead of time. I make this food concoction. I just call it food. Basically, I just take. I mean, if it's just for one person, two people, whatever, I take, like, say 2 or 3 eggs and throw them in the frying pan, and then like whatever else I find in the house, like whatever meats are in the house, take a little bit of steak, like leftover steak, and maybe some turkey from, sandwich turkey, and cut up some carrots really small, bell peppers, whatever's in the house. Throw it in there, a little hot sauce, mix it all up. And then I don't know how I did this or when I did this or what, but I like to take just a pinch of cinnamon. Like maybe 1 pinch per person. Give that thing a good stir. Plate it. It's good eating. Good eating. I've made that a million times for probably about 30 different people. I don't want to say a million times. I've made that probably maybe 300-400 times. 90% of those times would be just for myself. But everybody that's eaten it's been like, "What's in this? This is good. What's that flavor? What? I'm like, dude, I just call it food. Just eat it. Probably my third favorite. I've only had this twice. Or I should say I've had it 3 times. Once I got it at a restaurant and I was like, oh, I gotta try that. Shark. I don't know if anybody out there has had shark. It's been a while. First time I had it, I was probably in my early 20s. And then I made it again for myself. Sorry about that. I made it again. I made it for myself twice, probably about 15 years ago. Both times it was just, I happened to go into a store and they happen to have it. I can't honestly say I've seen it, but I also don't really look for it because now it seems like it was expensive. And last but not least, number 4, I guess it had to be a burger. I like to make a nice thick burger, but what I like to do is when I take the patty, I'll take cheese and I'll mush it into the hamburger, and usually maybe cook it just a little bit longer. I like to make like 1 fat patty instead of like having a double or whatever. And yeah, a nice slice of cheese, a couple pickle slices, just a hint of ketchup, maybe a couple pieces of, it's got dry lettuce. It's got to be dry. I hate when the lettuce is all wet and everything. Yeah, those are probably my 4 favorite foods. Let's see. 4 favorite movies. I think that's just too obvious. We've all answered questions like that a million times. I think I will do my 4 favorite cars. Oh yeah. Alright. Car number 1.
A force that has about security and creative and
this list of my favorite cars. These are cars. These aren't like dream cars. These are cars, all cars that I've been in. That I at one point or another was either a passenger in or had the opportunity to drive. Or in the case of one of them, I attempted to get in it and attempted to be a passenger, but I didn't want to break anything. And I'll let you know which one that is. So car number one. My all-time favorite car that I've ever been in, driven in, rode in as a passenger is the 1942 Buick Roadmaster convertible. It is the most incredible ride. I mean, it's huge. It's like a super huge car, but it doesn't feel like a super huge car. I mean, like I've driven, like my first car was a 1979 Dodge van, so I know what it's like to drive cars that feel like you're doing a boat. And I mean, and obviously it has had a little bit of that, but when you look at the car and you drive the car, it doesn't feel like you're driving a car that big. It feels like you're driving a big car, but it doesn't feel like you're driving that big of a car. And it's just so comfortable, and everything is just set up so well. You know, being a big person that I am, a lot of cars, like even like today, I drove my brother and sister-in-law and their family to the airport, and they have a minivan, so you know we piled all their kids and all their stuff in there. And I'm driving back, and I have the seat all the way back, and I'm leaning back, and still the top of the, you know, like where the roof comes down to meet the windshield is like right here. So I'm driving like this, like with my head down, slouching a little bit, you know, and actually that's the way a lot of cars are. That when if I sat in the car like a comfortable way, you know, the windshield, top of the windshield is like right in the middle of my view. I mean, rear view mirrors are so low compared to like if I'm sitting here, the rear view mirror is like right here. So it like blocks everything over here on the side. Well, I know, complaining about. But this car, the 1942 Buick Roadmaster convertible, is an incredible car. Car number two is the 1971 Plymouth Barracuda. This the one I was in was similar to the one in the picture. It was, you know, like really built up and done everything. It had a big, huge engine in it, and it was one of the most powerful cars I've ever been in. I'm sure it was like, oh, you got a 55 Dodge, blah blah blah, Ford Mustang, but it was just had incredible handling, incredible power, just felt like masculine, I guess. That's just an awesome car. Car number three, and this is the car that I attempted to get into, but was afraid I was going to break something. Yep, a 2016 Cadillac Cian, C-I-A-N, whatever it said. One of my dad's friends is a car collector, and he had one of those. And I went over, you know, was hanging out with my dad, and he calls up, told us to come over, look at his new car. And we went over there, and I was like, oh, that is it, because it is beautiful, and it just sounds incredible. The interior looks so great. But when I was trying to get in there, I was like, I'm gonna break something. I mean, I don't know if I would have or not, you know, but 9 times out of 10, if I feel like I'm gonna break something because of my size, I'm gonna break something. So I didn't actually get in it, but I sat kind of on the like the door frame and checked out the interior, and it was nice, and it sounded so awesome. So finally, car number 4. Now the one that I drove looked very similar to the one in the picture, but I don't know what year it was, what year the car actually was. I was over in Europe, and kind of half business trip, half vacation, and we went through Poland, and they had one of those at like a rental car place. And I actually got in it and I drove it around, and it was horrible, and it was loud, and it shook, and I was afraid that things were going to fall apart the whole time. I was considerably thinner back then, but I was still tall. I got into it, and it was like cramped, but it was just so cool. I literally got out of the car, walked over to the front, grabbed the front bumper, and lifted it off the ground. The car probably weighed maybe 600 pounds. It's just this little box of aluminum foil and twigs, but it was crazy. So because it was so crazy, that's on my list of my favorite cars. So those are my 4 favorite cars. Let's see, what else could I do? How about my 4 favorite? Four favorite TV shows. I'll do 4 favorite TV shows that are no longer on the air. Yeah. First off, it's got to be one of my all-time favorite TV shows is the original Dragnet. Not the black and white one, that's okay, but the color version with Harry Morgan is Joe Friday's assistant, or not assistant, but his partner. Not the original where Joe Friday was the partner. Yeah, that's got to be my all-time favorite show. I've probably seen every episode maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Show number 2, out of that same era, SWAT. I really enjoyed that show, SWAT, back then. That was a good show. I couldn't tell you the names of any of the guys that are on it right now, but I don't know. Number 3, all-time favorite show is no longer on the air. Gotta go A-Team. B.A., Hannibal, Face, Murdoch. That was just good television. And all the bad guys on that show also were stormtroopers. Not really, but nobody could shoot each other. And number 4, all-time favorite TV shows currently not on the air. It's a tough one. I think I'm going to go with Good Times. JJ, Walona, Mom, Michael, Dad. It was a good show. Good family show. Alright. So those are my 3 groups of 4. I am going to tag Sera Dawn, Crazy Newb, LastPharaoh, Angry Unboxing Nerd, Jeff Soares, and I'll do Jeremy Hill and Johnny Tellez. Alright. So, thanks Oblivion, and I'll put a link to my video in your comments, and I'll put a link to his original video in my information section so everybody can look at his original video.